This morning we mentioned a few keywords, and some of us have written some of the key takeaways that we had already this morning. Now, one of the keywords that I hear is strategic HR. We need to be strategic. And this morning we also mentioned about numbers from both speakers. Everyone here is not really sensitive with numbers. Not very sensitive with numbers. Okay, that's one person. Yes. All very good numbers. If you are really good numbers, I'm going to ask why you are not working in finance and maybe how payroll maybe. Right? So the good news is we are going to talk more about the strategic part rather than the numbers part. So if you're not really that directly inclined, you're not interested about numbers that much. More on strategy. And the second part is we are not going to make you into salespeople. We talk about sales culture, but we're not asking you to be salespeople. So some of the things that I do, not from a very, very glowing introduction from Anwar. I'm starting for the initial Chinese. I was living in China for 16 years. Part of the things that I do was to help sales. The cool word is called sales enablement, which is to make sure that if we do sales training, how will the sales training work? Right? So it's everything about compensation, how you manage your salespeople, how you motivate them, what is the sales strategy, all the way to whatever you're doing. So that's sales development. And I do have also assessment tools that I call business called salesman. Okay, so it's how we do in a B2B business scenario. Unlike the usual I see that we have selling style. This one is based on scenarios. So if you visit a customer and the customer says, I only can give you 5 minutes. What do you do? Do you want to grab everything in 5 minutes, or do you want to fix another thing? Right, so those are the kinds of scenarios that we throw into the salespeople and see how they respond. And the surprising thing is, a lot of HRs that did the test, because they want to sample the product. So a lot of HRs that did the test performed better than the salespeople. Means, maybe we have a lot of untapped potential in HRs. And of course, because I was in China for over 16 years, I wrote a book, we sell in China. All the other I'm also certified as a coach and so on, and some larger companies. So enough of me. Now, in case you don't know who this old fellow is, anyone know this guy?
Know him or know of him?
Know of him. Yeah. So what do you know about Peter Drucker?
He talks about. Well, I learned this when I was in uni in the management book. That's it.
Okay, you know about this guy. Okay. Simple thing. This guy is known as the father of management. Not because before him there's no management, but he created management as an academic subject. So that's all things. So if you have MBAs or any degree programs as management, that's all it's all. So and what one of the things to say is, to put it very simply, the reason we have a business or a company, if it's privately owned, is just to create a new customer. That's it. All companies do is very important, is create and keep that customer. And everything that we do, whether we do R&D, we do engineering, we do production, we do supply chain, or everything that is related to what we do, all works towards this goal. Right? So that's the context that we're going to look into. Now, 3 things that we'll be covering. I have planned for 1.5 hours. Then I realized that number one, we started a bit late. Then we have that energizer. Then I read the timing wrongly. It's actually 1 hour and 15 minutes. So we started and have that only at 1 hour. See how we can squeeze that into all this thing in 1 hour. So 3 things. One is if we want to do what the idea of what Peter Drucker said, create a customer-centric sales-driven organization. What does it mean? What are some of the building blocks response. We may not be able to do that overnight. We may not be able to do that all by ourselves as HR, but what are some of the key things that we can try to actually evidence of that? Number two is about talking about culture. Okay, can you hear briefly in your own understanding? Right? We're not talking about how accurate it is. It's just your own understanding. What is culture? What is culture? The same understanding. Yeah, so we think the same thing, the same understanding, same mission, vision, same practice and action. What else? Common habits. Excellent, right? So there are this thing called common values and common habits, which of course things we probably think about the same things. And not only that, the people who do the similar things will be reinforced or rewarded. And the people who deviate from it will kind of be ostracized or be punished. That's sort of what we can do in the pop culture in a sense. So, what if you want to build a sales-driven culture? That means the activities, the things you do that will help you be more customers focused, to be more sales-driven, will be rewarded. People will clap for you. We may not be able to reward people monetarily. We hope we could. That one, if you want to talk about monetary rewards on building culture, book an appointment with us. It's explained that, right? But if you want to do it and reward people based on other things like how to give praise, recognition, and other non-monetary, non-financial kind of rewards, it's also part of building culture. Right? We look into that as well. And then of course we like to see some actions that you can do as either as HR or as middle managers. Now, we'll take some quotes. So this guy is called Jack Welch. Anyone knows Jack Welch? There's a company not so big called General Electric. Anyone know about it? General Electric, one of the largest companies in the US, and this was one of their former CEOs that brought it to really, really high growth and all that. And one of the key things that he said about companies is this. Now, if the rate of change outside of the company is faster than how you keep pace with that change outside of the company, you may not die immediately, but you will find it harder and harder to cope with the changes outside of the company. Right? So if we imagine ourselves, if today we are using our mobile phones, smartphones and all that, and we are still looking on a typewriter. Right? So that's to put it more drastically, that's the thing. So the company itself has to respond faster, and unfortunately, the company is just company. Company needs the people to drive things. So it's really up to the people to respond better to the changes of them. So that's one thing about companies. The other thing is about okay, so you may not know this guy, but this is quite important if you are in HR. So what is this called? Dave Coolidge. Anyone whose company or who's heard about this term called HR business partner, HRBP. This guy's all. Right? If you have this, came up with idea. You came up with this triangular thingy point. You have shared services for HR. You have center of excellence. That is the simple, right? So that's Dave Coolidge. And what he's saying is, it kind of corresponds to what Jack Welch mentioned. Company must respond faster than the changes outside, or must be able to cope at least with the changes outside. Now, if you put it back to HR, what it means is, it's the results that matter. The results meaning the business results, dollars and cents. HR is less about the HR work you do, whether it's payroll, policies, paying, hiring, compensation benefits, and all that. But more about the value created for your stakeholders, not shareholders, but stakeholders. People who are part of it to bring whatever success to the company, right? And looking outside the organization is asking HR. So don't just look into the organization, but you must also look outside the organization to customers, investors, and communities to define what is successful HR. Right? So if you have the best policies, in fact, someone was commenting on LinkedIn about why a lot of startups fail. A lot of startups fail not because it was a bad business venture and all that, but sometimes as startups they fail because they hire too many MBAs. Nothing better than this. But if you're a startup, what you are really focusing on is to quickly, rapidly respond to the changes outside. It's the taking action that matters. What MBAs tend to be optimizing processes, making things more efficient, putting systems in place. And the reason I'm showing this is that, yes, if your company is established, is mature, of course, you will need systems, you will need procedures, you need SOPs, no doubt about it. Just that, as if you really want to be a successful HR, the systems, the procedures, well, it is a part of your job, it's a foundation of your job. To do really, really well is to look into how you can help the people inside to service the people outside. So that's the thing. So we're going to talk about a lot of concepts. So what does it mean in practice? So we're going to do something that what we share with salespeople. This is something that we do with tech companies at Cisco, and it actually reads from right to left. Right? It's called oh, by the way, I got all these on my LinkedIn. I'll do my LinkedIn QR code. I'm going to link with me, and the slides is already there. Right? I think everything was like it's already there. Anyway, this is something that you do. You read from right to left. So this is how we want to provide value to customers. Now, we always say, oh yeah, this thing is value for money, we want to create value for customer, we want to provide value for customer. But exactly what is valuable to customers? We don't talk about that. What is it that is valuable for customers in the first place? So instead of thinking about what should we sell, what should we go out and present ourselves, we're going to go the other way around. We got to focus on the customer first. And there could be many things that we can focus on the customer, but what Siva mentioned this morning, we're only just looking at some key things, simple things, 3 areas. The first thing is, what is the job of the customer? Basically, what we mean is, day in, day out, on a daily basis, what is your customer trying to get done? So that customer can be in a micro or a macro way. So in the macro way, as a company, if you sell companies, as a company, what is it that the customer company is trying to get done day in, day out? It can also mean to be an individual. It can be an individual who is working in the company. So if you're selling to purchasing managers, what are some of the things they will need to do day in, day out besides squeezing your prices? They need to handle the stability of supply, they need to evaluate different suppliers, and so on. So there are different people that have different jobs to do in their daily work. And even if you're selling to individuals, of course, individuals has got their daily work, something that they do, right? So based on what they do, what are some of the things that they want to achieve? Now you do your daily work, so what's your KPI? What's your KPI as a person, as an employee of the company? If that person is working in the customer's company, what are some of the KPIs for the person? What are some of the things they would like to achieve or be recognized for in their work? Right? So that's some gains. And of course, if you got gain, you will have the pains. Right? So what are some of the pains? What are some of the unhappy things, difficult things, obstacles, challenges, risks, whatever bad things that is, to the customer. They, in my daily work, what are some of the things I want to achieve? If I'm the customer, what are some things I want to achieve? And in my daily work, what are some of the things that is bothering me, preventing me from reaching what I want to achieve, or this is a big headache? Okay, so that's understanding the customer. Now, we go to the left-hand side, that's about you, right? So, obviously, if you're selling something, you sell your products and services, what is the value proposition of your products and services? So, this morning we asked about what is the revenue of your company. Some of us know, some of us don't know, some of us can find out. Let's ask a different question. What does your company sell? And doesn't matter products and services anything, right? The second question is, what makes your customer buy from you? What makes your customer, you sell something, it could be a product, could be a service, could be something that's customized, whatever. Even if you're a government agency, there's something you provide the consumers of that service. So why do your customers buy from you? You are fast, you're on time, it's ahead of time, okay, so your timing is good.
It's lessen their pain.
It could be lessen their pain. So, in other words, if you're talking about a big word called value proposition, sometimes what is value proposition? We just switch it to a different way and say, what are some reasons that your customers buy from you? And, sorry, but why do they buy from you and not from competitor? The trust, the price, maybe. And I'm not going to argue what will be the key thing. Different companies, different products, and different services will have different reasons, right? And the thing is, even when we do sales training, we'll ask the salespeople, don't just assume what you think your customers buy from you. Go and ask them. You will be surprised. Because one common theme among sales, I'll just digress a little bit. One common theme among salespeople is that, oh yeah, we must reduce price because the competitor is very cutting price, and also we have to go low price, otherwise the customer will not buy from us. Now, you're shaking your head.
No.
Can you share more?
Because we do have this issue before,
Yeah.
where our business is actually in SME lending businesses. So interest rate is something very sensitive.
Yeah.
So our salespeople actually have trouble with, convincing the clients about the interest.
Yeah.
So how we counter that with our premium services?
Yeah.
We make sure the time constraint is being taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we position ourselves in terms of value.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we just make assumptions thinking that price is a key thing. Sometimes, like, if you're giving loans, maybe the grace, the little leeway is more important than the rate itself. Right? Maybe if I don't make a payment, you don't cut away whatever finances that I have, cash flow that I have, and die. Maybe that thing is more important than interest rates. And it applies to many other products as well. It may not be price or anything you assume to be. Sometimes it's good to check with customers, especially customers that you know really well, you trust each other, you can just find out what is it that makes you buy from us, even though there are alternatives out there. Right, so let's just check. And it's also can check. It's also can check. It's also can check. We talk about the pains and gains, yeah. So if the customer wants to achieve something, what is it in your products and services help them to achieve what they want? And of course, what is it in your products and services can alleviate, can take away the pains of the customer? So if this tool has got a fit, you are in business. The question is, it is easier said than done because it's a nice good degree. So here is what we want to do, right? So again, it's after lunch, we'd like to have more discussion. Now, we just need to go into pairs of 3 persons. Okay, 2 to a group or 3 to a group. If you're not from the same company, choose one person as an example. Right? So we are just going to go through what we have just gone through. So in pairs or in threes, have a discussion. If you are able to list down, and we don't need to make a long list. We just need to, we only have time actually for one example. Right? So what products, services, or solutions your company provide? Don't make a whole list of everything you provide. Just list one thing you provide. Just list one thing that you know quite well. But as an example, one thing will do. Right? And how does that thing help your customers to achieve things? And of course, how does those products help customers to resolve things? Right? This one come next. I'll just go to the the other part is also name one customer. We have many customers in the company. Name one that maybe you hear from someone else, you kind of have an idea of what they do. So name a customer of the company, right? We know that we are all HRs here, we are not salespeople, just trying to get educated guys up. Just name one customer. What do they do? What gains do they want to achieve? What pains do they want to resolve? Right. So this is telling your customer and mapping to what you do. And the last question being, since we are HR, what can you do to support your company deliver better value to the customer? Right. Can we have a 10-minute discussion? I know 10 minutes is a very short time. Going past all threes, choose one person to provide the example. We just need one product that is targeting one particular customer, and that's good enough. You may not have all the answers, but that's okay. Just fill in as much as you can. And the thing is this, even for the policies that you find not very helpful, sometimes you find policies very stupid, the original intention is likely to be a positive intention. Company interest, we want to save costs, we want to control costs, right? What else?
Only the management has an interest that those higher price items, you know,
it could be all of these. And the thing is, if you want to change any kind of policy, usually it's going to be very difficult, isn't it? So that's going to be a process of how you want to drive the change. So now can you change? This is the first simple change model. Yeah, many change models of that. This is one of the easiest that I can explain. Basically, what you want to change is to change from what's happening currently to the future. Right? That's what you want to do. Now, the thing is, if you want to change, if you want to make a change, usually you need to answer why I must change. Where am I going? If I have that incentive, I don't have technical incentive, what will that be? And how to make the change? What are the steps? So, very simplistically, like I said, everything will be on LinkedIn today. So, the first thing is, you need to give an example, some reason that if you don't change, you will die. Like you need to lead a fire, you need to have a burning platform. Something bad is going to happen if you don't change on a certain thing. Are you able to justify that? Number one. Number two is, in the future place, what will be some things that will be a better, brighter future? If you change, what's in it for the company? So when we say that we live the incentives, how much more money do we need? Versus how much more cost do we need to incur? Does it make sense? If by incurring more costs to make for incentives, we make a lot of money, a lot of customers. Not only will we make a lot of money, our customers will be very die-hard loyal customers to us. Is it worth the while? Right? And of course, the third part is what are the steps you need to take in order to go to the future? So this is how generally how people make changes. So if you want to make that change, sometimes what we can do is to work across departments, get your colleagues or everyone to ask themselves this one question. Set a team goal that across department that you want to achieve. So this is an example. How we work across departments to improve our customers' response time to customer requests. Just as an example. So first of all, wherever it is, find a theme that everybody can work together. Now, when it comes to goal setting, anyone has been through any goal setting training ever before? Yes. Anyone? When it comes to goal setting, what is the acronym that comes from? SMART goals, right? So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and type of, right? So which one of these letters do you want to focus first when you set the SMART goal? Specific. Think it relates to this picture. It relates to science. It's not even true. It's actually not. If you want to set a SMART goal, start with relevance. Why it is important to us? Why is it important to the company? Why is it important to our customers? You need to press drivers. So set a goal, set relevance. Then we think about how it's not about setting an achievable goal. Is to set the goal and think about what are the steps to make it achievable. Right? If you want to set an achievable goal, then you can set a very simple one that doesn't live anywhere, it's achievable, but it may not bring you to where you want to go. So it's to set your goal and then figure out how to make the goal achievable, what are the steps, how to get there. Then we talk about this morning, being measurable. Now, we do know that sometimes not everything you can put a number to. So what we do, instead of putting a number to the goal, is if you can put a number, that's okay, it's 25. If that is not doable or not easily doable, you do something that's observable. Can you see the difference between before you do a certain thing and after you do it? Right, so is it observable? Palpable means can you feel it? If both you can't do, you cannot see the results, you cannot quantify it can be 25. And it's hard to see observable results. At least can you feel it? So that's measurable in various ways. And in terms of time, it's not the time, it's the milestones. Are you on track to meeting the goals? So this is some of the things that as HR, let's set goal for a company. This is what we do. And then, okay, so when are we going to do what? What is the milestone? If it's a 1 year target, what are we going to, how are we going to review on monthly, quarterly, or whatever basis? Right? And then the specific is everything is underlined by being specific. Specifically, why are we doing this? Specifically, what are the steps that each person who to do what along the way? So these are some things to consider. Now, some things you can do if you want to take away. So, ask your colleagues. Don't say HR cannot ask your colleagues and set a team goal or business goal. Ask your colleague if there's going to be a training day and you don't have budget, then get everybody together and work. Training day, no budget, and you do setting. Doesn't really matter whether you know or don't know how to do, just ask the question. Right? So, what is one question that we need to reflect on and resolve? If the company is going to reach the goal, just ask them. Number two thing, the second thing that you can do, this is what we call identifying champions. In sales, we call no champion process. Now, what do we mean by champion? Champions are people in the company that must have two things. They have power or influence to make things happen. and it's evolving. So who will be your champions in your company as HR? The good thing I know about HR is there is one role that a lot of HRs are doing, but it is never or is usually under-recognized. No one knows that HR do this important thing, but a lot of HR do. Has anyone as a HR give counseling, give advice, lend a hearing ear to your colleagues? Right? The HR usually is the unofficial shrink, unofficial psychologist of the company. Right? And because you are the unofficial psychologist, a lot of people like to be with HR. So more or less, some people are talking about, alright, next time I want to talk, share our troubles with you, shall talk to you. Right? So these are some of the things. If there is something that you feel you want to push and move on, get support, one of the champions, people who you know has got influence, can make things happen, and can support the goal as well. Right? And the thing is, whenever we want to shift changes, we tend to have a lot of obstacles, challenges, and all that. So generally, this is what happens. Get the champions to keep the ball rolling first. And then the helpers, people who support you, but maybe not so much influence, they will like. And then slowly, more people buys in, your changes. Right? This is number 2 you do, and I'm not as good as GC for and so, pitch the champion. Not just because people want to, would like to support you, doesn't mean they will automatically want to support you. So the thing you can say that this is sales script that we teach salespeople. But the reason I want to talk to you is it's about how we can work together on whatever. Approach the person, tell them the purpose, and find time. I just want to see how to do this thing, and from your help, can we have time? Just the slides are on my featured post. It's there, and just download. Right, and with that, thank you very much, and thank you for having me.